Good afternoon again, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the keynote speech for the third annual DAI virtual conference. Today, joining us, we have Provost Dr. Kelly Austin, and I'm excited to introduce him now. As Embry-Riddle's Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost, Dr. Austin's responsibilities encompass critical areas affecting academic matters and student success at the world's leading higher education institution focused on aviation, aerospace, and research. Dr. Austin previously served as Vice President for Commonwealth Campuses and Executive Chancellor at the Pennsylvania State University, University Park. In that capacity, he oversaw teaching, research, and service missions, and acted as the budget executive for Penn State's 20 Commonwealth campuses, which serves some 27,000 students across all degree levels. Before assuming the role of Vice President and Executive Chancellor at Penn State University Park, Dr. Austin held the title of Associate Vice President for Administration in the Office of the Senior Vice President of Commonwealth Campuses. Earlier, he served as Chancellor at Penn State Schuylkill. Prior to joining Penn State, Dr. Austin was Vice President for Finance and Administration at the University of Pittsburgh at Johnstown. Dr. Austin earned his PhD from the University of Pittsburgh and his Master's of Business Administration and Aviation, Airline Management from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Provost Dr. Kelly Austin.
Great. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. You passed the test. You pronounced Schuylkill right, so very good. Appreciate you. Thank you for the warm introduction. Really appreciate it. And I'm grateful for the invitation to speak with you all today. I'm honored to join my fellow faculty and staff members of this critical conference and conversation. And I look forward to spending some time with you today discussing the exciting future of teaching and learning at Embry-Riddle. Our institution has always been a pioneer in aviation, aerospace, STEM education, business, and the arts and sciences. And as we look ahead, we're committed to leading instructional innovation and advancing proactive student success efforts. It has become increasingly clear that innovation is at the heart of every successful educational experience. And the Division of Academic Innovation Virtual Conference is just one example of Embry-Riddle's dedication to innovation both inside and outside the classroom. It's a real pleasure to see so many of you engaging with this year's programming. And as I began to prepare for this keynote, I found myself returning to a familiar question. What will education look like in 10 years? I'm sure you've all heard this exact question or a variation of it in the past. It is frequently raised in the mainstream media, in text and reference books, at academic conferences, and just general conversations in academic communities. But in 2025, technology is advancing so rapidly that the more apt and appropriate question may be, what will education look like in a year or even a single semester? And what role will we play in shaping that future? I recall vividly just 3 or 4 years ago when the topic of AI would come up, most would dismiss the holistic impact that it would have within the next decade or two. And as we've all seen, all of that has been flipped on its head, as has become part of our day-to-day routine due to rapid advancements in almost every aspect of our lives. Instructional innovation has a long, rich history here at Embry-Riddle. It has from its early beginnings, and we've encouraged many innovative practices over those years. T. Higbee Embry and John Paul Riddle, the university's founders, recognized in the mid-1920s that education was primed for another change. And in 1929, less than 30 years after the Wright brothers' historic flight at Kitty Hawk, the university became one of the first 5 flying schools certified under the U.S. Department of Commerce's Air Commerce Act. Now we fast forward almost 100 years, and in 2024, the university became one of the first 3 programs to take part in the FAA's Enhanced Air Traffic Collegiate Training Initiative. Embracing instructional innovation is part of our history. And of course, Embry-Riddle innovation extends beyond aviation to all facets of our 3 distinct campuses. And since arriving at Embry-Riddle in the summer of 2023, I've been continually impressed by the institution's legacy of forward-thinking teaching and learning methodologies. I really do. It's impressive. And so I will say a lot of times from launching the first comprehensive degree-granting college of business, security, and intelligence studies, to the design and building the first university student-built payload to land on the moon. Eagles are proven innovators. Even U.S. News and World Report agrees both the Daytona Beach campus and the Prescott campus were ranked #1 in 2024 for most innovative schools among Southern Western regional universities. Embry-Riddle's strategic plan outlines several key initiatives to enhance our educational offerings. We aim to integrate cutting-edge technologies into our curriculum, including AI and machine learning, and to provide students with hands-on experiences in emerging fields. We actively develop partnerships with industry leaders to ensure our programs remain relevant and impactful, and we maintain strong relationships with our industry advisory boards to stay current with what is on the horizon for the ever-evolving aviation and aerospace industries. And we strive to shape, influence, and inform industry through our cutting-edge research. Our strategic plan also emphasizes the importance of faculty development and support. We're investing in professional development opportunities to help our educators stay abreast of the latest teaching methods and technologies. And by empowering our faculty and staff as facilitators of learning, we can create a dynamic and engaging educational environment. And I truly cannot say enough good things about our Centers for Teaching and Learning Excellence. We have outstanding teams situated across each of our campuses and provide outstanding support to our faculty and to help make sure that we are advancing our pedagogical practices to give our students the very best education. I know that I don't need to tell this group, we are in a transformative era driven by rapid advancements in technology. It is awe-inspiring to see the ways in which artificial intelligence and emerging technologies have opened up new frontiers and possibilities for education, allowing us to empower our faculty and staff as facilitators of learning. By leveraging data-driven strategies, we can enhance our teaching methodologies and ensure that our students receive an education that will set them apart for generations to come. At Embry-Riddle, we embrace tradition while developing forward-thinking technologies and learning methodologies. It's a balancing act, to be sure, one that requires dexterity and agility. And we understand that the landscape of higher education is changing, and we are committed to adapting and evolving to meet these changes head-on. The impact of AI and digital learning is profound, and we must embrace this change to remain at the forefront of educational excellence. We are dedicated to advancing proactive student success efforts. We're empowering our faculty and staff, and we can create a supportive and nurturing environment that encourages students to reach their full potential. We are committed to providing the resources and support necessary to help our students succeed. So whether a student's interested in the arts and sciences, aviation, business, or engineering, Embry-Riddle is committed to helping that student succeed with the latest instructional techniques, data-driven strategies, and technology. And as you will see throughout the sessions today and tomorrow, fostering innovation is a priority across the university and across instructional modalities. Fostering innovation also represents a tremendous opportunity to continue preparing our students of the workforce of the future and to distinguish ourselves amongst our peers. As technology rapidly evolves in the months and years ahead, achieving these goals will take the collective effort of all of our faculty and staff members across all campuses. So to return to my initial question, what will education look like in the near future? Programs such as ChatGPT can feel both destabilizing and exciting. Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, augmented and virtual reality, and other digital tools may very well revolutionize the classroom like the introduction of the radio in the 1920s or like the handheld calculator did in 1972. But since its founding in 1926, Embry-Riddle and its educators have found ways to better engage students and improve learning outcomes through the embrace of so many new technologies. The overhead projector, the ballpoint pen, video, the personal computer, and of course the internet, which seems ubiquitous in our society today, but really is only 30 plus years old. Each of these tools is only as good as the instruction that accompanies them. So whether you're teaching communications, electrical engineering, finance, meteorology, or another of our 100+ degrees focal areas, core skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity are crucial components for Embry-Riddle students to master. And when the World Economic Forum released its Future of Jobs reports this past January, analytical thinking was still the most sought-after skill amongst employers. This emphasis on core skills is unlikely to change, even as the workplace becomes increasingly automated or as it increasingly integrates AI as a business strategy. The question then is, how do we and how can we use emerging technology to personalize learning, offer inclusive and accessible educational environments, and ensure stellar instruction across our campuses and diverse modalities? How can we balance Embry-Riddle tradition with the next generation pedagogy? In 2022, 50% of organizations reported using AI for at least one business function. That number has since skyrocketed to almost 80% in July of 2024. With more than 3/4 of the workforce turning to AI, we have an opportunity to equip our students for success in this environment. We have the chance, for example, to facilitate thoughtful conversations about the ethical use of generative AI and to model its responsible use for our students through course assignments and classroom activities. We could plan an entire summit around just this conversation. Our leadership team is highly engaged in this topic. For example, during the most recent Board of Trustees meeting, university leadership, our trustees, and our key industry partners discussed AI and emerging technology in our flight program at great length. My office sponsored an AI summit this past fall, leading to outstanding conversation on how faculty are integrating AI into their classrooms, the groundbreaking research being done in nearly every corner of the university, and how we can leverage AI to support student success. We look forward to continuing this important discussion in November at the second AI Summit. My office is working with the academic leadership of the university to intentionally make available opportunities for students to become more AI proficient. This will take many forms: integration in our general education offerings, expanded academic programs that are AI, ML focused, minors and possibly majors, the launching of micro-credentials and stackable certifications opportunities through our Office of Professional Education, and so much more. The aviation and aerospace industries have long been at the forefront of technological innovation, continually pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the realms of flight and space exploration. In recent years, the advent of artificial intelligence has ushered in a new era of transformation, promising to revolutionize these industries in ways that were once the stuff of science fiction. From enhancing safety and efficiency to pioneering new frontiers and autonomous flight, AI is poised to reshape the aviation and aerospace landscapes profoundly. These industries have communicated to us the critical need for an AI-ready workforce that is comfortable with innovation and technological advancements. Whether our students ultimately go on to support crewed missions to Mars, pilot electric aircraft or next-generation drones, or launch their own business ventures, their success is partially dependent on the knowledge and skills they master in our classrooms now. And by emphasizing future-forward instruction, we can provide our students with a crucial advantage. We must position Embry-Riddle as the go-to university partner in the forward-facing design of these industries. There will be rapid advancements in the areas of safety, autonomous flight, and the continued exploration of the frontiers of space. Safety has been and always will be a paramount concern in aviation and aerospace. AI is playing a crucial role in enhancing this aspect. By harnessing the power of machine learning algorithms, AI systems can analyze vast amounts of data from various sources to predict and prevent potential failures before they occur. We will be able to better predict maintenance needs, resulting in less downtime of aircraft and reducing mechanical failures. AI will support pilots in real-time decision-making with critical point-in-time information, and it will help air traffic controllers optimize flight management. One of the most exciting and transformative applications of AI in aviation and aerospace is the development of autonomous flight technologies. Uncrewed aerial vehicles have demonstrated already their potential in various applications ranging from military operations to commercial deliveries. On the commercial side, AI is framing the pathway for a fully developed autonomous passenger aircraft. The potential benefits of autonomous flights are immense. Pilotless aircraft could reduce human error, which remains a significant factor in aviation accidents. Additionally, autonomous systems can operate around the clock without the need for rest, increasing the efficiency and availability of flight services. Numerous safety challenges and regulatory implications still need to be worked out, but the potential is boundless. And what excites me the most for our faculty and are doing transformational research in many of these areas, Embry-Riddle is the leader in aviation and aerospace higher education. And I know that we have varying levels of comfort with how quickly things are evolving, particularly as it relates to the integration of AI into our daily lives. A number of you are fluent in the language of artificial intelligence, while others may be relatively new to the conversation, and that is okay. Doing this work is far from easy, and with technology and educational strategies evolving every day, it can seem complex and sometimes overwhelming. If you're new to AI or looking to advance your understanding, our colleagues in the Center for Teaching and Learning Excellence offer wonderful resources for navigating AI. Some of those resources are highlighted during this conference. For example, Tracy Mendolia and Dr. Chad Werbacher's outlined the steps for developing an AI value statement in an earlier session. I encourage you to take advantage of them, as well as to explore how you might incorporate AI into your lessons as a tool to streamline your instructional activities. As the world becomes more connected through the internet and tools such as social media, we also have an opportunity to extend our teaching beyond the four walls of a single classroom. I look to our worldwide campus. In addition to educating more than 20,000 students across the globe, the worldwide campus offers Daytona Beach and Prescott students an additional learning modality. Online classes can aid students with the unique schedules who would prefer to take an introductory or prerequisite course in a self-paced environment. Residential students also benefit from widening their peer networks, learning alongside and collaborating with classmates at all career stages and from multiple cultures. In addition, worldwide courses can prepare students for the digital-first workplace despite return to office mandates. Virtual meetings and digital communication tools remain a core component of the modern business. Learning and collaborating in a virtual environment can challenge students to develop and refine remote work skills before they accept their first full-time role. AI-powered tools such as Microsoft Teams, transcription features, and meeting summaries can empower students to become more self-aware and capable learners. Similarly, faculty and staff can learn from their peers at other campuses. Worldwide faculty may have deep expertise in cultivating a digital classroom community on campus that is both supportive and encouraging of critical thinking and student dialogue. Daytona Beach or Prescott faculty may have tried and true strategies for enhancing hybrid instruction, and faculty from all three of our campuses may have insight into the best Canvas analytics to track where the best uses of AI for managing workload. Partnering with and learning from our colleagues enables us to quickly scale best practices for teaching and learning. It allows us to amplify the positive impact of those best practices. And as a university community, we are lucky to be surrounded by colleagues with unique expertise in leveraging AI and emerging technologies for a variety of use cases. No matter which campus you call home, I encourage you to consider how you might expand your Eagle network to share your knowledge and benefit from the knowledge of others. Ultimately, we all play a role in shaping Embry-Riddle's instructional future. Today, tomorrow, and well beyond this conference, we have an opportunity to deepen student engagement and productivity through innovative, high-quality learning experiences that are both academically rigorous and infused with emerging technologies. That responsibility lies not with just faculty course developers and our CTLE staff, but with all of us. I'd like to applaud my colleagues across this great university. The future of teaching and learning at Embry-Riddle is extremely bright. We are excited to lead instructional innovation, embrace tradition, and develop forward-thinking methodologies. By integrating AI and emerging technologies, we can empower our faculty and staff in advanced proactive student success efforts. Together, we can ensure that our students receive the best possible education and are prepared for the future of what is to come. So as I close, I ask you to consider, what will your role in the future of education look like? Thank you, and I appreciate your time, and I'm happy to take any questions, Chris.
Thank you so much, Dr. Austin. Well, everyone in attendance, as Dr. Austin pointed out, we do have time for some questions, and we already have two that have come in, actually. So I will start with those and look forward to reading others as they come in. We have about 20 minutes, so this is a good opportunity for us to connect with senior leadership in a way that many of us, often seek. So the first question is that Embry-Riddle's mission includes fostering collaboration and teamwork. This conference's theme is Connected Futures, Innovating Learning Across Modalities. Since we have conference speakers representing all three campuses, what are some of the conversations Embry-Riddle leadership is currently having surrounding collaboration and teamwork through the One University initiative?
So since my arrival, that's a great question. It's been a priority of mine to increasingly move us to carrying out the practice and vision of One University. We have three outstanding campuses that do amazing work. And, I came from an environment where we had 24 campuses. And we would say that if you've seen one campus, you've seen one campus. And so we each have kind of our own uniqueness, and that's important to our rich history at our separate locations. But at the end of the day, we are stronger by coming together. And so some of the things that we've been doing and the way that we're leading in this space, a lot of you've probably heard about the Curricular Coherence Initiative, where as an institution, we're moving towards a unified catalog on the curricular side for all three of our campuses. This has been a large-scale effort that has involved faculty from all of our campus locations, the outstanding staff support we've received from information technology, the leadership from our registrar's office, the vice provost of academic affairs, our accrediting office. We truly have outstanding folks on each of our campuses leading this effort. And so we'll have shared course numberings. Students will be able to seamlessly move between campuses in the future. It provides guidance on what the practices for residential students will look like taking classes in the worldwide modality. So that's one example. The other one that I'm really excited about and proud of the good work of our colleagues on the faculty side is the Joint Senate Coordinating Committee. As you all know, we have 4 parts of our faculty handbook. We have in 3 senates that operate for the betterment of their respective campus communities, and that's important work. But bringing together the 3 groups also serves a really important purpose for the institution moving forward, so that there's a collective understanding and support for shared governance for the institution. And that group has been working hard with representation from the leadership of each of the 3 senates this past year, in which they've made a change to the Part 1 of their handbook, where they've officially codified the Joint Senate Coordinating Committee. And that will allow the administration to work closely with the faculty senate on a lot of initiatives and efforts as we move forward. But truly, we have talent on every single one of our campus locations. It's not just situated at one location, and we want to amplify and leverage that, bring people together around research, centers of excellence, best practices from teaching and instruction, and how we better support the aviation and aerospace communities. And so there's a lot of effort and energy in that space. It's one that's at the top of my priority list. And so I'm looking forward for the future of that, where it'll go, but it truly will take all of us coming together around that topic.
That's wonderful. Thank you. We have a few more that have come in. We have one also that is interesting that will be part of a panel tomorrow. We'd love to get your view on as well, which is that industry needs and expectations continuously evolve. What's one significant shift you think university leadership should make to stay ahead or keep up?
So that's a great question. I think we do a really nice job, and I mentioned it briefly, of working with our industry advisory boards to shape and inform, guide curricular changes to make sure that kind of we're on the front end of things. We don't always want to be in the reactive mode. We want to be in the proactive. The aviation and aerospace industries is a globally interconnected set of industries, and we have the very best faculty at this university who are helping to guide and shape that. And so one of the things that I like most, and where I want this university to be positioned as we move forward, is helping to drive that change forward. Working with our colleagues who are in industry to advance really these important topics, and whether it's advanced air mobility, cybersecurity in the aviation and aerospace industries, hypersonics, space exploration, making sure that we are also informing their practice as well, not just responding. It's a symbiotic relationship, because we also want our students to be best prepared when they leave us as well. And that's going to be done by having the cutting edge research that our faculty are doing that also help and shape and inform industry. So a couple of the things that have been recurring themes that we've heard about recently, and I mentioned them briefly in my remarks, that we're looking to integrate in really important and meaningful ways into our curriculum, are artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, business acumen and skills, and all those communication skills are always going to be so important for our students to make sure that they are set apart from others when they go out into the workforce, not just for the first job that they have, but for a lifetime.
You mentioned something in that reply, as well as during your keynote, that one of the questions addresses. Single pilot operations has been identified as one of, if not the top threat to aviation safety by many unions and the FAA. When considering AI in aviation, I see it as a wonderful way to support crews and to improve efficiency, but not as a replacement for humans. You mentioned this in your talk, and I wonder what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think it's a balancing act, right? I agree. I think the need for human flight and pilots is always going to be something that's extremely important. I think psychologically for the flying public, that's going to be important for a lot of reasons, at least for the decades to come. I don't see a scenario in which we make any rapid shifts. And while I'm not the expert in this space, and I won't pretend to be the expert in this space, I've talked to some people who are obviously very smart in these areas, and they think that we're decades away from even moving in that direction. And so I think we can leverage the opportunities to support our pilots in the cockpit to make sure that they're able to leverage AI tools so that they can make better use of their skills within their flights. I think that's really important. Maybe we get to a scenario where we're able to get to single pilot operations. I think that's something that's probably more realistic in the foreseeable future. But the stuff we talked about that is scientific or science fiction, like I should say, where we have no pilots and just you're using technology to get folks from point to point in smaller aircraft. I'm sure there's a future where that happens. Will it happen, in our lifetime? Probably on the latter end of it for some of us. But I could see a scenario in which that's happening. But you're always going to need somebody who's helping to advance and understand the operations from a pilot perspective. So I don't see that going away. There's a reason that our aeronautical science program is growing at such a rapid pace, because one, there's such an increase in demand for opportunity to travel and explore. We are a global interconnected society, and we produce the very best pilots at this university. You see a lot of other universities who are standing up programs around flight, but ours is tried and true. And I think we're going to be the go-to for all of our partners, big and small aviation and airline companies, both on the commercial side, general aviation, military. I think we have a strong standing in there. And so that will continue for many years to come. So I think we're probably, to sum it up, we're probably far off from what I'm hearing, decades more likely than years.
This leads perfectly into the next question, because you're talking about, from what you're hearing from leaders in the industry, we are leaders in our own industry. And I want to expand on that a little bit from one of the questions we received, which is, what does great leadership look like as you consider the use and application of AI looking to the future?
So I think it's a couple things. One is understanding and having the agility and dexterity to understand that we're probably not going to know everything in real time in this space, but staying informed as a leadership group. As I mentioned, our senior leadership team discusses these things regularly. Our board of trustees, we've got folks from, who are leading some of the biggest companies in the world in the aviation and aerospace space who are thinking about these topics on a regular basis and giving that guidance and feedback to us. And so it's staying relevant, current on these topics in as much as possible. And then I think it's looking to our corporate partners and our really talented faculty to drive innovation and change in these spaces. And so how do we use the tools? So artificial intelligence is a tool. How do we use it? How do we leverage it to really make rapid improvements in aviation and aerospace, whether it's air traffic or safety systems or pilot operations, or how quickly we can get to and explore Mars? And so I think all of these things, leveraging these tools, being able to take massive data sets, quickly analyze and make recommendations are going to be really important. I think the other part is being thoughtful about the execution, about how we integrate these things into our day-to-day lives. AI is great, but it's only as good as the inputs that go into it. And so making sure that we're thoughtful about we're leveraging the right kind of artificial intelligence. They're not all created equal. And so I think we want to be very conscientious. I wouldn't say cautious, but conscientious about that moving forward. And so I think having these conversations on a regular basis. And so that was the thought process that my office had in mind when we launched the AI Summit. It's really about creating a space for conversation for our faculty, for our staff, and others to come together on a regular basis, talk about how it affects our classrooms, how it affects our research and the work that we're doing, how we can integrate it into our student support services. That's going to change and shift on a regular basis. And so there may come a day where having those conversations at an annual summit won't be enough. We might need to do it on a semesterly or maybe even a monthly basis, but we're tracking it very closely. It's at the forefront of our mind. And I think a key element is making sure that our students are equipped with the skills that they need so that when they get out into the workforce, they're ready to hit the ground running.
Two things you mentioned there were equipping our students and the quality of inputs into AI. And I think of that in the same way as being in the classroom. The quality of anything that we do demands quality inputs and quality efforts from whoever's kind of leading that, whether it's faculty or anyone who's working within the development of AI or what have you. Which leads me to the last question that we have right now. Speaking about inputs and such, what would you say to help those who are uncertain about online education? How would we help them better understand the quality and potential it offers students? We are an online support unit here at DAI, and we work on a large campus. So would love to get your perspective on that.
Sure. I think anyone who spent a few minutes with me talking about that knows I am a huge supporter and advocate of online education. I think it's a really important modality for so many of our students for a lot of different reasons. I think it's, clearly Embry-Riddle worldwide has been recognized as one of the premier top online education opportunities that any student can have. And so I think that alone speaks for itself and the quality that our university has when it comes to online offerings. We do a great job of hiring the very best faculty at all of our campuses. We analyze a lot of data to make sure that we're doing a good job with instructional excellence in supporting our students both in and out of the classroom, helping them to progress in a timely manner. And so I've seen a lot of universities that have jumped into the online space as a means by which to, generate some additional revenues and bring new students into the institution. That's not what we've done here. It's a core function of who we are as a university. We do it at the highest level. And so I think everyone can rest assured that we have the very best people who are involved with this process at this institution. And so, and they safeguard the quality of the experience that is available to our students. And I think that's important, making sure that the quality of what's happening in the classroom. And so they go the worldwide, as you all know, those who are involved with worldwide on the academic program side, you know that you all go through the same rigorous standards for accreditation that those would go through in the residential environments. And I think what's really important, and I think this is important to say, our students expect the flexibility, and that's why we have the curricular coherence. That's why we are drafting policies that will put into effect that provide pathways and opportunities for students to self-select the opportunity to take classes through an online modality through our worldwide campus. It's important if you're a flight student and you have long flight blocks, and having that flexibility within your schedule to be able to take an online class here or there to make sure that you're advancing your academic progression. I think we can all agree that we want our students to graduate on time and get out into the workforce and start pursuing their passion and their dream for whatever their respective fields are. And so, we talk a lot of times in higher education about, we look at student success and we measure it by retention and graduation rates. But we look at 6-year graduation rates. And what I want for our students is to be able to progress and really study and look at 4 years. And for our students who are doing it part-time through online, how do we help them progress through in a timely manner? I think it's really important, because the longer it takes for them, the more costly it becomes for them. And we don't want to put that burden on them. And so having that flexibility, allowing them to go back home for the summer and take a class here or two so they can continue on their progression, or if they slip up in a class, being able to retake a class if necessary, all of those things are important. And so I think we should all have great confidence in the outstanding work that happens at our worldwide campus.
Thank you for sharing that. It's refreshing to hear how much emphasis is put into all levels of accomplishing our goals across the university, all 3 campuses, as well as the many different modalities, and how we're making students successful, not just in niche areas, but also successful human beings going out into the world. So thank you so much. That ends our question and answer session, and I hope that everyone can join me in thanking Dr. Austin and joining us for the keynote speech. And thank you, sir, for joining us, and I hope everyone joins us in future sessions.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.